Hey guys, we're here in Manila.
Hey, we're so excited to be here.
Oh my God, this is great. This is a great place to start our world tour in the Philippines with the wonderful people here, and we can't wait to come to your town next.
Excited to see you all tonight.
See you soon.
Superman, the man of tomorrow, a beacon of hope that everyone can look up to, with a symbol that screams, "I'm here. Everything is going to be alright." Superman has been a role model to a lot of us, right next to Spider-Man and Captain America. Throughout the years, Supes has been going through a lot of different interpretations in both modern comics and media. But y'all know how it went down. The longer it went down, the further his character deviated from the original source material. Superman became much more stoic, brooding from time to time, and he felt more like a Bruce Wayne Kryptonian more than a farm boy that grew up with his ma and pa on a farm. Superman is stoic. He's supposed to be all-powerful. If James Gunn wants to iterate this character, he should make his own. He should leave Superman alone. I know all of you seen that post. I know you have. For the longest time, Henry Cavill was everyone's Superman. But since the DCEU's crashing and burning, the world was left without a beacon of hope. Dark times were upon us. Well, until today. The rise of Superman media returning to its original intent he was made for has been receiving praise all around the world. The fandom has been loving every Superman-related media since 2021. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's cult meeting. In today's cult meeting, we are going to be talking about recent Superman shows, how they were the first steps to the return of the real Superman to our screens, and how I believe that 2020 onwards shall forever be known as the age of Superman, a better tomorrow. But before getting into today's cult meeting, leaving a like would be awesome as it gets the video out there, and subscribing will help the channel grow as we are growers and not showers. OJT is almost done, so I'm gonna be uploading more frequently as soon as I can. Also, be sure to check out our Patreon for early uploads because YouTube still refuses to take my national ID as valid identification. Picture this. It's June 14, 2013. After being deprived of the Superman media, you hear that the director of 300 is creating a Superman movie to kick off the DCEU. So, you prepare. You go and see the movie in theaters, and you get dressed in as much Superman merch as you can, and you go watch in what you believe is the return of the Man of Tomorrow. Instead, you come out of the theater going,
"Look how they massacred my boy."
And in the following movies, you seem to notice that this Superman is not the son of Krypton that you were hoping to see. A Superman that feels like he barely cares about the people around him. A Cal that only intervenes when he deems the situation worthy of Superman. In hopes of getting our fill of Superman, we instead get a Superman, a Kryptonian, so disconnected from humanity to the point where they do not see him as an approachable superhero that you can call anytime you need help. No. They see him as a merciful god in the sky, where if you beg hard enough, he might save you. And in the movie Batman vs. Superman, this line doesn't exactly help as well.
No one stays good in this world.
So you're telling me the Beacon of Hope was considering giving up his morals because he was blackmailed by Lex Luthor. You all know how it could have went down?
When you got here, you had but an hour. Now it's less. Oh, snap. An hour? I better hurry then. Holy crap! Is this my mother, Lex? What? Yes. I mean, I flew around the city a few times and used my x-ray vision, but I gotta make sure, is this the mother of mine that you threatened to murder in front of my face? Yes, I said, that's the one, okay? You win. You diseased maniac.
Look, don't get me wrong. I love Zack's interpretation of The Dark Knight Returns Batman, and I love Henry Cavill's Superman. But if you're going to break down the character and what makes them, be sure to establish them first and who they are. Zack flipped the switch on Superman, expecting us to already know who he is in the comics and in past media. In doing so, he created a cult that believes his Superman is the definitive Superman. These are what we call Snyder bots. Snyder bots cannot see past the many flaws of the Snyderverse and believe that Zack's DCEU is the direction that the DC should be going in. Yeah, well, how'd that work out for you? Completely forgetting who Superman really is and setting Cavill's Superman as their default Superman. Now, I respect that. I get it. He looks perfect as Superman. But with Cavill on his way to produce his own Warhammer franchise, fuck yeah! It seems that Cavill returning as Superman is very slim to none. To this day, Snyder fans have been terrorizing the internet with their closed minds and set images of Superman and forcing them onto people to believe that Zack Snyder is the blueprint. If you're a Snyder bot, I got something for you.
I want to take a shower with him.
But with the DCEU crashing and burning due to the entrance of Hollywood's favorite Samoan, Superman was left without a home and without a proper representation until the CW.
By the poop!
Now, before you click off this video, I know, the CW. Oh, how are they going to ruin Superman? They already ruined The Flash. Hold on. Give me a hot second. Superman and Lois premiered back in February 23, 2021, reintroducing the character at the end of the Arrowverse. Let me tell you, after sitting through the whole Snyderverse fiasco, this show was a breath of fresh air, and it made me, along with millions of other fans, fall in love with the Man of Tomorrow after such a long time. The show delves into Clark's family life, not the one where he gives up his powers by wearing blue kryptonite in his watch so he could become human. In Superman and Lois, we see how Clark balances his life of being a father of 2 teenage boys, a husband to the most aggressive reporter on the planet that could get Minecraft YouTubers to fess up just by being in the room.
She said she was 12.
And being Superman. For the first 2 seasons, we get treated to what I can say is the best kind of Superman live-action show in recent memory since Smallville. Season 1 focuses on the boys and how Clark reveals his big secret to them, teaching them the ropes of the family business. You'd expect Jonathan, the athletic one of the brothers, and literally the only son of Superman in the comics to get his powers first, and have his emo brother be envious and look for other ways to get his powers earlier too, right? Nah, they've pulled a hard left on us and had Jordan be the angsty, puberty one that he is of the two, be the one to get his powers first. And I have to say, it was an interesting character arc, watching this kid grow into his powers and get the sense of responsibility Clark has been trying to get them to learn. He fully understands this by the end of Season 2, and it goes even deeper at the tail end of Season 3. Of course, they couldn't leave John the Goat Kent out of it, so they gave him his powers in Season 3. But alas, Season 3 was the final season of the show. I know, it sucks, but I could talk about the show for hours, but I'm gonna keep it in a separate video, so if you guys want to see me do a video on Superman and Lois, do let me know down in the comments. That would be very appreciated. This show highlights Clark's relationship with everyone in the family, especially his father-in-law. Lois being more concerned about him being there to guide his kids and both being teenagers and being well, Superboys. Being the son of the Man of Tomorrow is a lot of juggling high school, women, and saving the world. That has to be both fun and frustrating. Jordan. On topic of responsibility, Lois's father, Sam Lane, understands his responsibilities at home, but wants the boys to join the DoD and share the responsibilities of Clark as Superman as his Superboys. Of course, Clark and Lois don't allow this at first, but eventually warm up to the idea. The entire show revolved around the family dynamic that the Kents had. Straight from season 1 to the very last episode, we see more Clark Kent than Superman, and how in touch with the people he is when he actually puts on the suit. If I go on, this video would be at least an hour long. Well, an hour and a half. Point is, this show was so good that they had to cut it short to make way for James Gunn's Superman movie. They crammed the loose ends in the series into the final season, and I have to be honest, it really wasn't that bad. Not bad at all, actually. Hell, even Lex, you had an hour! Now it's less. Luthor had a good character arc in the show in such a short time. And let me tell you, when I say that the final episode will make you cry harder than the time that you got shot down by the girl that you really liked in class, but when you fessed up, she actually had a boyfriend and the entire class was just leading you on because it was funny to them, Superman and Lois is the perfect show to cleanse your palate from the Snyder virus from your eyes. If you want a solid, down-to-earth, and as close as Superman can get in live action, then I highly, and I mean highly, recommend you go check out Superman Lois on the CW. Either the legit way, or the way that is frowned upon by that one guy in my comment section about how pirating is a dick move. Yeah, well, the economy is shit, so suck it, buddy. But if you're a fan of Justice League Unlimited or the Superman animated series way back in the early 2000s, let's talk about the show that every Snyder bot quivers at the sight of. My Adventures with Superman.
How did you know you'd be bulletproof?
I didn't. I just knew that you weren't.
My Adventures with Superman was released on July 3, 2023. At first, the internet was fuming about it because this show looked too goofy and colorful to be an authentic Superman show, and it looked too bright compared to the JLU and the Superman animated TV show. But what they failed to see is one of the best animated Superman animated shows since those said predecessors. My Adventures with Superman is an awesome origin for this version of the Man of Tomorrow. Getting the hang of his powers in the first season, meeting Lois and Jimmy can literally pull anyone. Olsen. Clark's journey on becoming the Superman we know so much is such a treat to watch. Not to mention, he's also voiced by Huey himself, which is a big step up from plotting vengeance against Supes to becoming the definitive superhero. That's not even the best part. In Season 2, we get introduced to Android Agent Kara. Kara Zor-El. Sorry, my bad. It gets very confusing out there. Here, she's introduced in the way where she never escaped Krypton's destruction. Instead, she upholds the Kryptonian tradition of going planet to planet, conquer it in the name of the Kryptonian Empire.
Now how does that sound familiar?
Have a responsibility to Viltrum.
I don't give a shit about Viltrum.
Yes, I know, Kryptonians came before Viltrumites, but it's still a funny bit. Moving on. After being told this by his literal flesh and blood, he refuses to fight for Krypton and chooses to be Earth's protector from them. Now, it's not like Kara didn't see the light either. Oh, she did. Remember my goat, Jimmy Olsen? I know I'm getting sidetracked, but if Jimmy can pull a Kryptonian that could fold you in half but chooses to be sweet and shy around them, anyone can do it, damn it. In general, My Adventures with Superman is an animated show that brings us back to the roots of Superman animated series. If you're a fan of anything animated that's also Superman related, if you haven't yet, My Adventures with Superman is the show that will make you fall in love with the character in a way that you never thought you would. Personally, it felt more like a light-hearted Invincible season, and we all know how that show goes. But would you believe me if I said Clark and Mark have more in common than you think? More on that in a future video. But if you want it sooner than later, then let me know by hitting that likes. I'd say get this to like 200, 300 likes, And I will compare how Clark, Superman, is very similar to Mark Grayson, Invincible. Superman isn't just a fictional character in comics or shows, or someone your friends laugh at you for idolizing just because they're edgelords. He's an idea. Someone everyone wants to strive for. Not just because of his godlike powers or his way of swapping between voices at will, but because he's the ideal way on how we should all be. It shouldn't have to be an every man for himself world out there, where only the strong survive and the weak are all left to fend for themselves. Superman's old motto, truth, justice, and the American way, has since been changed to truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, signifying that he isn't just for the American people. Superman, Cal, Clark Kent is for everyone. In one of my favorite comic panels that is currently making its rounds on the internet, if someone is in trouble in any part of the world, he must not let anyone get in his way in helping them. And unironically quoting that one reporter that we all know who tried to be cool.
Who's your favorite Marvel Comics hero? Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you again at 6.
Superman has the powers to save everyone in the world at speeds only fiction can fathom. No government can stop him from saving the planet from both itself and outside threats. But with the symbol of hope flying across the world, saving our neighborhoods and the entire planet, he stands as a constant reminder to all of us, from the smallest toddler to the oldest senior citizen, that it's free to be kind to one another. To quote my favorite Andrew Garfield film, to this day,
with the world so set on tearing itself apart, it doesn't seem like such a bad thing to me to want to put a little bit of it back together.
But that's all I got for you in today's episode. I hope y'all's Superman season goes as well as mine, because the movie is right around the corner. And you know what? No matter what happens, I'm glad Superman is going to be introduced to the younger generation the proper way since Christopher Reeves. But you know, everything else I mentioned in this video is also awesome, so while we wait, be sure to go check them out. But if you enjoyed, leaving a like would be awesome as it gets the video out there, and subscribing will keep you up to date on the latest cult meetings. That's all from your boy. I hope you have a wonderful day, and in case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.